Hi, today I'm going to be talking to you about the clock reaction experiment. I'll start off just by explaining what solutions A and B were made out of and how I made the solutions. Then I'll move into talking about how I did the experiment, and then I will conclude my video by telling you what the reaction means when you see the color change. So solution A, I started with 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C tablets. I crushed 4 500 milligram tablets because that's what I had. I crushed them in a Ziploc bag with a hammer and I added it to a cup. And on top of that, I added about 60 milliliters of distilled water and I stirred it with a spoon for about 30 seconds. Once that was done, I placed the filtration system, so the funnel with the coffee filters, over a cup and I poured the mixture into the filters, and it took about 10 minutes for it to actually all filter out. I wanted to make sure I got every last drop possible, and so that's why it took about 10 minutes. But I wanted the solution to be clear and not that grimy, gritty, yellowish, pale color. So once everything was filtered out, I added 25 milliliters of 5% iodine tincture to the mix. I actually had to make my iodine dilute it from 10% to 5%. And I talked to a pharmacist at a local pharmacy and they taught me exactly what I needed to do to get it down to 5%. So I was able to dilute it. Once I poured the iodine tincture into the vitamin C and distilled water mix, it turned clear immediately. So that color change was the iodine, which had the red color, which is I2, forming iodide, which is I minus, when it comes into contact with the vitamin C or ascorbic acid, and I minus or iodide is colorless. After the solution turned colorless, I added distilled water until the solution, the entire solution was at about 500 milliliters, and then I stirred it all together and to make sure it was mixed well, and that was the end of preparing solution A. So preparation for solution B, I started with cornstarch. In the video, he said about 0.4 grams, but then he ended up just using like the end of a normal spoon, so that's what I did. And I just poured that in. And on top of that, I added 350 milliliters of distilled water, and I stirred that together. It was cloudy like his was in the video, so I popped it in the microwave until that mixture was boiling, took it out. It was still kind of cloudy, so I put it through the funnel with the coffee filters to make it more clear. After that was done, after that filtration process was done, I added the 150 milliliters of 3% hydrogen peroxide and stirred the whole thing together, and that was the end of preparing solution B. So I separated solutions A and solution B into equal parts. I actually did 2 trials of this one as I did the last experiment. I didn't measure exactly how much I put in, milliliters or ounce-wise, the first one, but I did in the second one. So in the first one, I have these clear cups and they have lines on them, so I filled solution A to one line and solution B to the same line on an equivalent cup. And then I poured solution B into solution A, but there was no color change, or I thought. So I decided to do it again after I waited for about 5 minutes with nothing. So I heated up half a cup of solution A and I heated up half a cup of solution B in the microwave until they were warm and steaming. Then I poured solution B again into solution A and waited for the color change to happen. So my solution B is in the microwave right now. It's just in there. A is right here, or 1, which is the iodine plus the vitamin C. So I'm gonna add the hydrogen peroxide and cornstarch now. Hopefully we get a faster reaction this time, because we didn't get a good reaction last time. We'll stir it up. See what we get. I didn't think it was going to happen because the guy in the videos happened within about 30 seconds, but I think his was a lot hotter than mine was. But my solution did change colors. I ended up taking a time lapse, which I will add here so you can see. It took about a minute, and so yeah, it was cool just to get to see the color change. So in this experiment, there were two reactions that actually took place. The hydrogen peroxide in solution B was wanting to oxidize the iodide back to iodine in solution A. At the same time, the vitamin C from solution A, or ascorbic acid, was fighting against the hydrogen peroxide because it wanted to keep iodide in the I- form instead of letting it convert back to iodine, or I2. So the hydrogen peroxide ends up winning out, and it consumes the vitamin C, so a color change is possible at this point. So iodide, or the hydrogen peroxide turns the iodide into iodine, so now we have iodide and iodine, so I2 and I- in our solution. So the I2 and the I- ions come together and they form a triiodide. And the triiodide mixes with the starch to give us the color change that is a dark blue color. So again, like I said, I thought my first attempt was a fail because my second attempt at the experiment, the color change happened way quicker. And at the end of the second attempt, the first attempt was still the clear color in the glass. So I decided to place the glass in the microwave just to see what would happen, and this is what happened. So this was the failed attempt for number one. I put it in the microwave because the guy said heating up the mixture would speed up the reaction, and so I did. If I were to do the experiment again, I would definitely heat up solution A and solution B to a much higher temperature than I did, because I do think that that would speed up the reaction process as we learned. That is all I have for my experiment. Thank you for watching.